Standing alone in my living room, surrounded by silence, I realized how isolated I'd become. Today, I'll share the story of how my relationship with Mark, once filled with love and promise, turned into a beautifully decorated prison. My journey to reconnect with myself and those I love began with the simple decision to reach out. Will I find the courage to reclaim the vibrant, social Claire I used to be? If you've ever felt lost in a relationship, hit the like button and subscribe for more stories of hope and resilience. Together, we'll explore the path to rediscovering one's true self amidst the challenges of a toxic relationship. The soft glow of the afternoon sun filters through the heavy curtains, casting long shadows across our living room. I sit alone on the plush sofa, my fingers tracing the edges of an old photo album. The house is eerily quiet, save for the occasional tick of the grandfather clock in the hallway. A wedding gift from Mark's parents. I open the album, and a wave of nostalgia washes over me. There's a photo of my 30th birthday party, just before I met Mark. My best friend Sarah's arm is draped around my shoulders, both of us laughing at some long-forgotten joke. Mom and Dad are in the background, Dad's signature goofy grin lighting up his face. I can almost hear the echoes of laughter and the clinking of glasses. My eyes linger on Sarah's face. When was the last time I saw her? 6 months ago? Maybe more? The realization hits me like a punch to the gut. I flip through more pages, each photo a reminder of a life that seems increasingly distant. There's one of my sister and me at her college graduation, another of the nursing staff Christmas party from 3 years ago. Faces of friends and colleagues I haven't spoken to in ages stare back at me, their smiles frozen in time. The silence in the house suddenly feels oppressive, pressing down on me from all sides. I glance at my phone on the coffee table, its screen dark and lifeless. No new messages, no missed calls. Just like yesterday, and the day before that. I close the album and set it aside, feeling the weight of isolation settle over me like a heavy blanket. The house Mark and I share, once a symbol of our love and future together, now feels more like a beautifully decorated prison. The tasteful artwork on the walls, the carefully arranged furniture, it all seems hollow somehow, devoid of the warmth and life that once filled my world. As I sit there, surrounded by the trappings of what should be a perfect life, I can't shake the feeling that something fundamental is missing. The late afternoon light is fading, and shadows creep across the room, mirroring the darkness that's slowly been enveloping my heart. How did I get here? I used to be surrounded by friends, laughter, and love. Now, the silence in this house is deafening. It's like I'm living in a bubble, cut off from the world I once knew. I can't help but wonder, is this all my fault? Mark always says he's just looking out for me, protecting me from negative influences. But when did my loved ones become negative influences? Sarah, my best friend since college, the one who held my hand through my first heartbreak, when did she become someone I needed protection from? My fingers absently trace the pattern on the sofa cushion as my mind wanders. I remember the last time I tried to plan a girls' night out. Mark's words echo in my head. Claire, honey, don't you think you're a bit old for that? Besides, we have that important dinner with my colleagues next week. You should rest up. His tone was so caring, so reasonable. But now, sitting here alone, I can't help but question it. I glance at my phone again, willing it to light up with any message. My hand reaches out, almost of its own accord, but I pull it back. What would I even say if I texted someone? It's been so long, they've probably forgotten about me. God, I miss my family. Mom's warm hugs, Dad's terrible jokes, my sister's infectious laughter. When was the last time I saw them? Christmas? No, we spent that with Mark's family. Thanksgiving? We were too busy. It's always too busy, too inconvenient, too something. I find myself wringing my hands, a nervous habit I thought I'd outgrown. The house feels too big, too empty. I stand up abruptly, needing to move, to do something, anything to shake off this suffocating feeling. As I pace the room, my eyes keep darting back to my phone. Still no notifications. I pick it up, unlock it, and stare at the home screen. My thumb hovers over the contacts icon. I could call someone, Sarah, Mom, anyone. But what would I say? Hey, sorry I've been MIA for months. Want to chat? The thought makes my stomach churn with anxiety. I set the phone down again, perhaps a bit too forcefully. The sound echoes in the empty room, making me jump. I wrap my arms around myself, suddenly cold despite the warm afternoon. This isn't right, is it? This isolation, this constant walking on eggshells, this loneliness. I love Mark, I do. But when did loving him start to mean losing everyone else? I sink back onto the sofa, my body feeling heavy. The shadows in the room have grown. I realize I've been sitting here for hours, lost in thought, waiting for a call or message that never comes. Maybe I should reach out. Maybe. But the thought of Mark's disapproval makes me hesitate. My hand shakes slightly as I reach for my phone again, then pull back. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. I close my eyes, trying to remember the last time I felt truly happy, truly myself. It shouldn't be this hard, should it? To just pick up the phone and call a friend? To visit my family? As the room grows darker with the setting sun, I can't shake the feeling that something needs to change. But the thought of what that change might entail fills me with a dread I can't quite name. As I sit in the dimming light of our living room, my mind drifts back to the night I first met Mark. It was at a charity gala for the hospital where I work. I remember feeling out of place in my borrowed dress, surrounded by the city's elite. That's when I saw him. Mark stood out in the crowd, his confident smile and perfectly tailored suit drawing my eye immediately. When our gazes met, it felt like time stood still. He made his way over to me, champagne flutes in hand. "You look like you could use a drink," he said, his voice warm and inviting. "I'm Mark." I took the offered glass, grateful for something to do with my hands. "Claire," I replied, trying to match his easy confidence. We talked for hours that night. Mark listened intently as I spoke about my work as a nurse, my eyes lighting up as I described particularly challenging cases. He seemed genuinely fascinated, asking thoughtful questions and offering insights I hadn't considered. "You're incredible, Claire," he said, his eyes locked on mine. "The passion you have for your work, it's inspiring." I felt my cheeks flush, unused to such direct praise. Mark had a way of making me feel like the most important person in the room. Every word I said was precious. As the night wore on, I found myself opening up more than I had with anyone in years. I told him about my dreams of advancing in my career, maybe even becoming a nurse practitioner someday. "You absolutely should pursue that," Mark encouraged, his hand resting lightly on my arm. "With your skills and dedication, you could go far. I'd be happy to introduce you to some contacts in the medical field if you'd like." I remember feeling a mix of excitement and disbelief. Here was this successful, charming man, offering to help me advance my career. It felt like the start of something magical. Our first date was a whirlwind. Mark took me to an exclusive restaurant, the kind of place I'd only ever dreamed of going. He ordered for both of us in fluent French, impressing not only me but the waiter as well. "I want you to experience the best," he said, reaching across the table to take my hand. "You deserve it, Claire." Over the next few weeks, Mark became a constant presence in my life. He'd send thoughtful text messages throughout the day, asking about my patients and offering words of encouragement during tough shifts. When I mentioned a difficult case at work, he listened attentively, then offered advice that helped me see the situation from a new perspective. "You're too smart to let this setback get you down," he'd say, his arm around me protectively. "I believe in you, Claire. You've got this." His support extended beyond just words. When I mentioned my interest in an advanced nursing course, Mark immediately offered to help me study for the entrance exam. He'd quiz me in the evenings, turning dry medical terminology into engaging discussions. "You're going to ace this," he'd say, his pride in me evident. "And when you do, we'll celebrate in style." I felt like I was living in a fairy tale. Mark seemed to anticipate my needs before I even realized them myself. When I was stressed, he'd surprise me with a relaxing spa day. When I doubted myself, He was there with words of affirmation and unwavering belief in my abilities. "You're amazing, Claire," he'd often say, looking at me with those intense eyes. "I'm so lucky to have found you." In those early days, Mark felt like my knight in shining armor, my biggest cheerleader, and my closest confidant all rolled into one. He made me feel special, protected, and loved in a way I'd never experienced before. I thought I'd found my happily ever after. Little did I know then how quickly a fairy tale can turn into something else entirely. As I reflect on those early days, I can't help but notice the subtle signs I missed. One memory stands out. A dinner with Sarah, my best friend, about 2 months into my relationship with Mark. "So, Claire," Sarah had said, her eyes twinkling, "tell me everything about this new guy." Before I could answer, Mark chimed in, "Oh, I'm not that interesting, but Claire here, she's the real catch." I blushed at the compliment, but now I realize how he deflected, keeping the focus on me. As the evening progressed, Sarah shared stories from our college days. Mark's smile tightened. "Sounds like you two were quite the wild pair," he commented, his tone light but with an edge I now recognize. After Sarah left, Mark said, "She's energetic, isn't she? I hope she doesn't distract you too much from your studies." I shake my head, coming back to the present. How did I not see it then? The way he subtly criticized my friends, always under the guise of concern for my well-being. Another memory surfaces, our first weekend getaway. I was excited to explore the city, but Mark had other ideas. "Why don't we just stay in?" he suggested. "I rarely get you all to myself. Let's make the most of our time together." It seemed romantic then. Now I see it as the first step in isolating me. I glance at my phone, still silent. When was the last time I went out with friends without Mark? I can't remember. These memories, once cherished, now feel tainted. The charming protector I thought I knew seems more like a skilled manipulator in retrospect. I stand up, needing to move, to shake off these realizations. But as I pace our beautifully decorated living room, I can't escape the truth that's been slowly dawning on me. What I thought was love and protection was actually control, skillfully disguised. The silence of the house presses in on me, a stark reminder of how far I've drifted from the vibrant, social person I used to be. I pick up my phone again, thumb hovering over Sarah's contact. Maybe it's time to reconnect, to reclaim a piece of who I used to be. But as I start to type a message, doubt creeps in. What would Mark say? The thought makes me pause, and I realize just how deep this control runs. When did I start filtering every action through the lens of Mark's approval? I set the phone down, conflicted. The woman I was when I met Mark would never have hesitated to reach out to a friend. But that woman feels like a stranger now, lost in the carefully constructed world Mark has built around us. As night falls, casting long shadows across the room, I'm left grappling with a chilling question. How do I find my way back to myself? The memory of my last attempt to visit my family floods back, sharp and painful. It was 6 months ago, just before Thanksgiving. I was thinking of spending the holiday with my parents this year, I had told Mark over dinner. His fork paused midway to his mouth. "Oh?" I thought we discussed spending it with my family. "We did," I admitted. "But it's been so long since I've seen mine. I miss them." Mark's expression softened, but his eyes remained cold. "Claire, honey, I understand. But you know how your father gets after a few drinks. Remember last time? How upset you were?" I frowned, trying to recall. Was I? I don't remember. "Of course you were," Mark interrupted gently. "You cried all the way home. Don't you remember?" I didn't. But Mark spoke with such certainty that I began to doubt myself. Maybe I had been upset and just forgotten. "Besides," he continued, "my mother's been planning this for weeks. She'd be heartbroken if we canceled. You wouldn't want to disappoint her, would you?" Guilt washed over me. "No, of course not," I murmured. Mark reached across the table, taking my hand. "I know it's hard, but I'm just looking out for you. Your family, they mean well, but they don't understand you like I do. They don't see how amazing you are." I nodded, fighting back tears. Mark was right, wasn't he? He always knew what was best. Coming back to the present, I feel a knot forming in my stomach. How many times had this scene played out? Mark, always so reasonable, so concerned, gradually pulling me away from everyone I loved. I remember the last time Sarah invited me for a girls' night out. Mark's words echo in my head. "Sweetheart, don't you think you're outgrowing these nights out? You're a professional now. What would your colleagues think if they saw you stumbling out of a bar at 2 a.m.? When I protested that it wasn't like that, he just smiled sadly. "I know you don't see it, but I do. I'm just trying to protect your reputation, your career. You've worked so hard. I'd hate to see you throw it all away for one night of fun." His words made sense at the time. They always did. But now, sitting alone in our silent house, I wonder, was he really protecting me or controlling me? I think about my sister's wedding last year. I was supposed to be a bridesmaid, but at the last minute, "Claire, you can't seriously be considering going," Mark had said, his voice a mixture of concern and disappointment. "Your sister chose that date knowing I have an important case that week. She's clearly trying to drive a wedge between us." "I don't think that's true," I had protested weakly. "She's had this date planned for over a year." Mark's eyes narrowed. "Are you calling me a liar? After everything I've done for you, for us?" "No, of course not," I backpedaled quickly. It's my sister's wedding." "And I'm your husband," he countered. "Don't I come first, or do you love your sister more than me?" The argument that followed was brutal. In the end, I called my sister and made up an excuse about a work emergency. I can still hear the disappointment in her voice. These memories swirl in my mind, each one a small cut, adding up to a gaping wound. How did I not see it before? The constant criticism of my loved ones, the subtle manipulation, the way he always positioned himself as the only one who truly understood and cared for me. I grab my phone again, this time with determination. I need to talk to... As I scroll through my contacts, I realize with a sinking heart how few names I recognize anymore. When did my world become so small? Just as I'm about to call Sarah, praying she'll still want to hear from me after all this time, I hear the sound of a key in the lock. Mark's home. I quickly put the phone down, my heart racing. As I hear his footsteps approaching, I plaster on a smile, all the while wondering, how did I become this person, so afraid in my own home? As Mark's footsteps echo through the hallway, I'm struck by how much my life has changed. I think back to my 30th birthday, just before I met Mark. The house was filled with laughter, music, and the warmth of friends and family. Now, at 35, our home feels more like a mausoleum to the relationships I've lost. "Claire, are you home?" Mark's voice carries from the entryway. "In here," I call back, my voice sounding hollow even to my own ears. As I wait for him to join me, memories flood back. I remember the last time I tried to organize a get-together with my nursing colleagues. Mark's words still ring in my ears. "Darling, you work so hard. Wouldn't you rather spend your free time relaxing with me? Besides, you know how gossipy those work events can get. I'd hate for something to jeopardize your career." At the time, his concern seemed touching. Now I see it for what it was. Another brick in the wall he was building around me. Mark enters the living room, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. "What have you been up to all day?" I gesture vaguely to the photo album. "Just looking at some old pictures." He glances at the album, a flicker of something. Annoyance? Concern? Crossing his face. "Oh? Feeling nostalgic, are we?" I nod, not trusting my voice. I want to tell him about the overwhelming loneliness I've been feeling, but the words stick in my throat. He says, sitting beside me, "I've been thinking, we should plan a vacation, just the two of us. Get away from all the distractions." The idea of being even more isolated sends a chill down my spine. "What about visiting my parents? It's been so long?" "Claire," he interrupts, his tone gentle but firm. "We've talked about this. Your parents, they just don't understand our lifestyle. Remember how uncomfortable our last visit was?" I do remember, but not the way Mark describes it. I recall my mother's worried glances. my father's attempts at conversation that Mark subtly rebuffed. At the time, I interpreted their behavior as disapproval of my choices. Now I wonder if they saw something I couldn't. I suppose you're right, I concede, hating myself for the lie. As Mark launches into plans for our potential getaway, I find myself drifting, thinking about all the invitations I've declined over the years. Birthday parties, baby showers, simple coffee dates, all missed opportunities to maintain the connections that once meant so much to me. I remember the guilt I felt each time I made an excuse, the way I convinced myself that I was choosing my marriage over fleeting social engagements. But now, sitting here with Mark, I realize the true cost of those choices. The vibrant social Claire who existed 5 years ago feels like a stranger. I've become a shadow of myself, existing solely in the space Mark has carved out for me. The realization is suffocating. Are you listening, Claire? Mark's voice cuts through my thoughts. Sorry, just tired. I mumble, offering a weak smile. He frowns slightly. You've been distracted lately. Is everything okay at work? The concern in his voice sounds genuine, and for a moment, I'm tempted to open up, to share the turmoil in my mind. But something holds me back. When did I become afraid to share my thoughts with my own husband? Everything's fine, I lie, the words tasting bitter on my tongue. As Mark continues talking, I nod along, my mind racing. How did I miss the signs for so long? The gradual distancing from friends and family, the subtle criticisms, the way my world has shrunk to revolve entirely around Mark. It all seems so clear now. I glance at my phone, thinking of all the unanswered messages and declined invitations. The guilt is overwhelming, but beneath it, a spark of determination flickers to life. Maybe it's not too late to reconnect, to reclaim some part of the woman I used to be. But as I look at Mark, his hand possessively on my knee, I realize the path forward won't be easy. The woman I was 5 years ago would have known exactly what to do. The woman I am now? She's not so sure. The tension in the room is palpable as Mark continues discussing our potential vacation. Something inside me snaps. I can't take it anymore. Mark, I interrupt, my voice shaking slightly. We need to talk. He pauses, surprise flashing across his face. About what, darling? I take a deep breath. About us. About how isolated I feel. Mark's expression shifts, concern replacing surprise. Isolated? But we're together all the time. That's just it, I say, my voice growing stronger. We're always together, but I've lost touch with everyone else in my life. My friends, my family, Claire, we've discussed this, he says, his tone patronizing. Those people were holding you back. We're building a life together, just the two of us. The memory of my sister's wedding flashes through my mind. What about my sister's wedding? You made me miss that. Made you? Mark's voice hardens. I didn't make you do anything. You chose to stay with me. Did I? I challenge, standing up. Or did you manipulate me into thinking I had no choice? Mark stands too, his face darkening. Manipulate? I've done nothing but support you, Claire. I've protected you from people who don't have your best interests at heart. Another memory surfaces. The time I wanted to attend a conference for work. Mark had convinced me it wasn't worth it, that I was already successful enough. What about my career? I ask, my voice rising. You've discouraged every opportunity for growth. I was looking out for you, Mark shouts, his calm facade cracking. You're twisting everything. His words trigger a flood of memories. All the times he's used that phrase, making me doubt my own perceptions. No, I say firmly, surprising myself with my conviction. I'm seeing clearly for the first time in years. You've isolated me, controlled me, made me dependent on you. Mark's face contorts with anger. After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me? I gave you a perfect life. Perfect, I laugh bitterly. I've lost myself, Mark. I've lost everyone I cared about. They didn't care about you, he yells. I'm the only one who truly loves you. His words hang in the air, and suddenly, I see our entire relationship with crystal clarity. Every protective gesture, Every criticism of my loved ones. Every time he made me feel like he was the only one who understood me. It was all part of a pattern of control. That's not love, I say quietly. It's control. And I won't live like this anymore. Mark's face pales. What are you saying? I take a deep breath, feeling stronger than I have in years. I'm saying I'm done, Mark. I want a divorce. The words seem to echo in the room. Mark stares at me, shock and fury warring on his face. For a moment, I'm afraid of what he might do. But then, something unexpected happens. I feel a wave of relief wash over me. For the first time in years, I've spoken my truth. I've stood up for myself. As Mark begins to argue, to plead, to threaten, I tune him out. My mind is already racing ahead, thinking of the steps I need to take to reclaim my life. It won't be easy, I know that. But as I stand my ground, facing the man who tried to shrink my world, I know one thing for certain. I'm ready to break free. As Mark's words wash over me, a mixture of pleas and accusations, I feel a familiar pang of guilt. Haven't I been ungrateful? Hasn't he given me everything? For a moment, I waver, the instinct to apologize and retreat rising within me. But then I catch sight of my reflection in the mirror across the room. I barely recognize the woman staring back at me, eyes wide with fear, shoulders hunched as if bracing for a blow. When did I become this person? Claire, you're not thinking straight, Mark says, his voice softening. Let's sit down and talk about this rationally. I close my eyes, memories flooding back. The way he'd always used that tone when I was upset, making me feel irrational, over-emotional. How many times had I backed down, convinced that he knew best? No, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. No, I am thinking straight. Maybe for the first time in years. Mark takes a step towards me, his hand outstretched. Darling, please. I only want what's best for you. I flinch away from his touch, and in that moment, something shifts inside me. The fear is still there, but alongside it, a spark of anger ignites. What's best for me? I repeat, my voice growing stronger. Was it best for me to lose touch with my family? To give up on my career goals? To become so isolated that I can't even remember the last time I had a real conversation with anyone but you? Mark's face darkens. I've given you everything, Claire. A beautiful home, financial security. But at what cost? I interrupt. I've lost myself, Mark, and I need to find my way back. As the words leave my mouth, I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. The guilt is still there, the doubt still gnawing at the edges of my resolve. But beneath it all, a certainty is growing. This isn't right. This isn't how love should feel. Mark opens his mouth to argue further, but I hold up a hand. I need some time to think, I say, surprised by the steadiness in my voice. I'm going to stay with a friend for a few days. What friend? Mark demands, his tone sharp. You don't have any friends left. His words meant to hurt instead strengthen my resolve. I think of Emily, a nurse I work with who recently went through a divorce. She'd tried to reach out to me a few times, sensing something was off, but I'd always made excuses. That's where you're wrong, I say, moving towards the door. And it's time I changed that. As I grab my keys and phone, my hands are shaking, but my mind is clear. I need help, support, perspective, and for the first time in years, I'm going to reach out and ask for it. I pause at the doorway, turning back to look at Mark. He stands in the middle of our perfectly decorated living room, looking lost and angry. For a moment, I see him as he truly is. Not the powerful protector I'd built him up to be, but a man desperately trying to maintain control. I'll be in touch, I say, my voice soft but firm. But I need this time, Mark. Please respect that. Before he can respond, I step out into the cool evening air. As I walk to my car, each step feels like a victory. The road ahead is uncertain, filled with challenges I can barely imagine. But as I slide into the driver's seat, I feel something I haven't felt in years. Hope. I pull out my phone and scroll to Emily's number. My finger hovers over the call button for a moment as doubt tries to creep back in. But I push it aside and press call. As the phone rings, I take a deep breath. This is it. The first step towards reclaiming my life. Whatever happens next, I know one thing for certain. I'm not alone anymore. 6 months have passed since that pivotal night. As I stand in front of the mirror, adjusting my blouse, I barely recognize the woman staring back at me. She looks alive. There's a spark in her eyes that I thought was long gone. The first few weeks after leaving Mark were a blur of fear, doubt, and overwhelming loneliness. But Emily, bless her, was my lifeline. She didn't just offer me a place to stay. She helped me find a therapist, stood by me as I filed for divorce, and gently encouraged me to reach out to old friends. I remember the first time I called Sarah, my hands shaking as I dialed her number. Her voice, warm and familiar, brought tears to my eyes. "Claire, is everything okay?" It wasn't. Not yet. But hearing her concern, realizing she still cared after all this time, was the first step towards healing. Reconnecting with my family was harder. The shame of having missed so much, of having pulled away, was almost paralyzing. But my therapist, Dr. Martinez, helped me work through it. Healing isn't linear, she'd remind me. Take it one day at a time. And I did. Each call, each tentative coffee date, each family dinner was a small victory. There were awkward moments, painful conversations, but also laughter, warmth, and forgiveness. Today marks another milestone. I'm hosting a small gathering at my new apartment. Nothing fancy, just a few friends and my immediate family. As I put the finishing touches on a fruit platter, my culinary skills are still a work in progress. I can't help but marvel at how far I've come. The doorbell rings, and I feel a flutter of excitement rather than anxiety. I open the door to find Sarah, her arms laden with wine and flowers. "Claire!" she exclaims, pulling me into a hug. "God, I've missed you." As we chat and laugh, setting up for the party, I'm struck by how natural it feels. Like no time has passed at all. Soon, my small apartment is filled with the buzz of conversation and the warmth of loved ones. My sister is showing off ultrasound pictures of her second child, a niece I'll actually get to know from birth this time. Dad's cracking his terrible jokes, and Mom's fussing over everyone, making sure we're all well fed. In a quiet moment, I slip away to the balcony, taking in the view of the city below. I think about the journey that brought me here, the pain, the fear, but also the strength I never knew I had. "You okay, sweetie?" My mom's voice breaks through my reverie. She joins me on the balcony, her hand resting gently on my arm. I turn to her, feeling a rush of love and gratitude. "Mom, I really am." She smiles, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I'm so proud of you, Claire. So proud of the woman you've become." As we rejoin the party, I'm overwhelmed by a sense of belonging. This is what I'd been missing all those years. The chaotic, messy, beautiful reality of genuine connections. Later, as we all gather around the table for dinner, I look at the faces of my loved ones. Each one represents a relationship rebuilt, a connection reforged. I raise my glass, feeling a swell of emotion. "I just want to say thank you," I begin, my voice wavering slightly. "Thank you for being here, for welcoming me back into your lives. I know it hasn't been easy, but I'm so grateful for each one of you." As glasses clink and smiles are exchanged, I feel a profound sense of peace. The road to healing isn't over. There are still days when doubt creeps in, when the echoes of Mark's voice try to undermine my confidence. But I'm no longer facing those challenges alone. I've reclaimed my voice, my relationships, my sense of self. And as I look around at this beautiful, imperfect gathering of people who love me for who I am, I know one thing for certain. I am free, and I am home. As the evening winds down and my guests begin to leave, each with a warm hug and promises to meet again soon, I find myself alone in my apartment. The quiet feels different now, peaceful rather than oppressive. I sit on my couch, surrounded by the remnants of the party, and I can't help but reflect on my journey. I turn to you, dear reader, And I wonder about your own experiences. Have you ever felt isolated in a relationship? That gradual disconnection from friends and family? The slow erosion of your sense of self? It's a subtle process, often disguised as love and protection. But real love doesn't isolate. It expands your world. How do you maintain your social bonds? It's something I'm relearning, and I've come to realize how crucial it is. Those connections, with friends, family, colleagues, they're not just nice to have. They're lifelines, reality checks, sources of joy and support. They're what make life rich and full. If my story resonates with you, if you see echoes of your own experiences in my journey, I want you to know that you're not alone. There is hope, and there is help available. It's not easy to reach out, to admit that something isn't right. But that first step, as terrifying as it might be, can be the beginning of reclaiming your life. For those of you who recognize these patterns in your own relationships or in those of someone you care about, I urge you to seek support. Reach out to a trusted friend, family member, or professional. There are resources available: helplines, support groups, therapists who specialize in relationship trauma. You deserve to be heard, to be supported, to be free. And for those of you who are on the other side of this journey, who have found your way back to yourself, your stories matter too. By sharing our experiences, we break the silence that allows abuse to thrive. We offer hope to those who might be where we once were. If you feel comfortable, I encourage you to share your stories in the comments below. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Let's create a community of support and understanding. And if you found value in this story, if it touched you or made you think, please consider following this channel for more content aimed at raising awareness about relationship dynamics and personal growth. Your likes and shares help spread this important message to those who might need it most. Remember, you are stronger than you know. You deserve love that uplifts you, relationships that enrich your life rather than diminish it. And no matter where you are on your journey, it's never too late to reclaim your voice, your connections, your sense of self. Thank you for listening to my story. Here's to healing, to growth, and to the beautiful, messy, authentic connections that make life worth living. Take care of yourselves and each other. Before you go, if this story touched you or resonated with your experiences, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us reach more people who might be struggling in silence. And don't forget to check out the next recommended story appearing on your screen now. Each story we share contributes to building a stronger, more aware community. By engaging with these stories and sharing your own experiences, you're not just watching content, you're part of a movement towards healthier relationships and self-empowerment. Thank you for being part of this journey. Together, we can make a difference.